everyone. I'm Babs Butcher, and you're listening to The Butcher's Block. This is a podcast where I hang out with cosplayers and artists and talk about the secrets and insiders' perspective of the creative community. We are in SFX Studios, and we're excited to be bringing you even more of The Butcher's Block. Tune in every Monday to hear a new episode available on the Partynerdz SoundCloud, on their Facebook, and soon to be on their YouTube. Actually, it might be on YouTube at this point.
It probably is.
Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed to the Partynerdz. Make sure you're subscribed to me, Babs Butcher, and to the guests that you'll meet on the show. We'll have a different combination each show, so make sure you check their pages out. Woo!
Ouch.
We're back at it again. Make sure you're following them. We'll have their handles listed in the captions and descriptions of the show and on this screen here. Thanks, Darnell. Woo!
Thanks, Darnell.
All right, you're. I'm sandwiched in between two gorgeous men, and I'm
say
gonna
that, baby. Where I come from, a sandwich, not a compliment. Yeah, man.
Get the Eiffel Tower right here.
Oh God,
Yes,
Eiffel Tower.
There's gonna be kids googling that later.
Eiffel Tower is a monument in
No,
France, guys.
keep going.
We have an unbelievable amount of support, outpouring of support and excitement about this podcast, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for shooting your ideas over and believing in what we want to share with you, which is the reality and behind the scenes look at the creative community. We want people to learn from this. We want people to understand where we're coming from, and also while we want to be figureheads, don't idolize us. Realize that we're human beings and we have a lot to say.
I am not a role model.
I'm not a role model, but I'd like to earn your respect. Is kind of where I'm coming from. But
Or buy
Bingo.
it.
uh,
Or buy it. I mean, what are we talking about here?
we've got rents, you guys.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have Nay over to my right.
Cosplay Nay on Instagram,
Yes.
Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you
Yes.
for having me, Babs.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely. Thank you for coming on the show. And we have Dom over to my left.
What's up, Trash Cosplayer at Instagram? I mean, DOMCHARLAND at
you.
Instagram.
Yeah, man. Shit been real different since motherfucking Tumblr took the fucking
Nosedive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I can't promote my Patreon.
Or as Dam
calls it.
as,
Patreon.
as Dam calls it, Patreon.
Patreon. Support my Patreon for exclusive nerds.
All right, so what's today's topic, Babs?
Today we want to talk. We're gonna get a little sexy here.
Just a little?
No, you about to get ethered, Nay. I am gonna ether you so hard on this
Who
one.
the fuck is going to ether me?
We're
There's
gonna talk
nobody
about
that can
first
ether me.
times.
No,
First times.
But I want to hear
Oh,
about
yeah,
your
my-
first times.
Cosplay
First time I
editions.
fucking smashed something, like the first time I had sex or hit a cosplay.
No. Stop. We're gonna talk about the first memorable moments or first time mistakes that you have made in cosplay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Oh,
I am so excited for this one because
All
we are
right,
going
I'm
to talk
sorry.
about a topic
Yeah.
that has plagued Cosplay Nay for the entirety of his cosplay career. And
What?
all of you out there know,
What the
we're going to
fuck?
talk about the first time Nay learned the two words, dance belt.
Get the fuck out of here.
For those of you who don't know,
You know what a
dance
outside of the
belt
is?
cosplay
You.
community, as someone who wears spandex, a dance belt is a device that a
Fuck
dancer
you.
wears that, as a male, it causes a more uniform bump.
Bulge.
Bulge.
It gives you a bigger fucking dick bulge. Translation.
But it hides.
smoother,
It's smoother. It hides the particulars of
Allegedly.
the details.
But it provides less comfort to the genital area.
So we're gonna talk about Cosplay Nay and how he doesn't believe in them and how he had to
No, I
learn.
don't say I don't believe in them, but
Oh, you-
I refuse to wear them. I remember when I first started wearing fucking spandex, and I'm not talking about cosplaying. No. I'm talking about when I was playing football, and they had to fucking wear these shits, and you had to fucking wear the groin cup or the jock protector or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, or the groin protector. Excuse me. And it's uncomfortable, But in football, it's a different kind of protection because you got motherfuckers tackling you and shit. So
Yep,
you
in
have to wear it for protection.
In cosplay, the dance belt is to protect
I
everyone
don't-
else from you.
I don't expect. Yo, listen, man. I don't expect to get tackled in a cosplay. However,
I don't expect to see
however,
this
Listen,
in your spandex.
yo. I mean, listen. You see cleavage? Do you complain?
Hell no, I don't complain about cleavage.
Yeah.
So
wait.
there's women that see dick prints.
Cleavage.
Quote. Do they complain?
No, because cleavage
Some of
doesn't
them
squirt
no.
at me until
But
after the
then
baby gets here.
You got the fucking people with the fucking fantail shrimp dick, And they like, oh, you gotta hide your dick. Bruh, first of all, that's not my dick. Well, completely.
Whose is it then?
It's not completely my dick. Because you know what? They look so hard, they feel like they can see your whole dick print. And that's not true. You may or may not see a little bit of a bulge.
This episode's premiering late at night, right?
But that's just, well, look, that same
Late
bulge.
night with Cosplay
You can
Day.
get that same bulge from a fucking dance belt.
Man, late night with him is like
Or
2 in the
fucking
afternoon.
bigger.
God,
Yo, bro,
this is the whole.
listen.
This is
all right,
actually going to be
listen.
called Dance Belt.
The point that I'm trying to make is that when I personally wear my Spider-Man suits, no, I do not wear a dance belt. I do not, because I'm not having no fucking string come between my motherfucking ass crack.
They make
That's
full
one.
seat ones.
Oh
What?
yeah.
They make
Oh
who?
yeah.
They make
That's-
full seat underwear
I'm
dance
not wearing
belts.
no
Okay,
full seat
all,
dance belt.
all women right now are
fuck?
rolling their fucking eyes at you.
Embrace the thong, bro.
I don't care.
I mean, I won't, but
what
you
we
can.
have to put on.
Roll on, sister.
So this is something I actually talked about in one of my unboxing videos.
Okay.
I bind.
Unboxing. But then,
Do you know what binding is?
yes.
I bind my body when
Right, like so demons and shit.
How the fucking shit you hide all the extra
I
goodies?
I wear shapewear. Well, everyone wears
Everyone
shapewear.
wears some
And
of
that's
it.
okay.
But it's more than that. It's I actually flatten my
Yeah, you
entire.
tape down like when
Yes.
you did Cloud,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Oh, I didn't actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's-
no.
But the thing is, though, I
Confused
wear
on
layers when I suit up, though. When
You
I
do
wear
wear a lot of
spandex,
layers, yeah.
I wear 3 layers,
Mhm.
and sometimes you may see a bit, and I'll say a bit of a bulge print, and I say a bit because you don't see the whole fucking dick print.
Mhm.
That's one. And two, when I wear my fucking cosplayers or whatever, or my spandex, I take that Alex Ross approach. And when I say Alex Ross,
You mean
I
realistic?
mean, yes,
I got it, I got
realistic,
it.
and it shows
Okay.
the human.
So you
You're
are
like a
mindful.
Spider-Man. Like,
You're
you know, each other
mindful of
face.
having multiple layers, but there are some dudes
Yes.
out there that literally wear nothing
Mhm.
but a pair of briefs or boxes underneath, and
I
their
got-
shit is all out there.
Yeah.
So now
Comfort
you're at a
zone, bro.
con,
That's
and little kids are walking up to you, and they go to give you a high five, and right in their face.
Yeah, is a
We could talk about-
swangin' dick.
We could talk about dance belts
You know
all day.
what?
I just had to throw the
Uh,
clickbait out
it's
there.
unfortunate to some degree, but you gotta have self-control
Yep.
because it won't be in their face if you're not fucking walking around with a hard dick
So-
or a stiff dick.
So
It's not
wait,
gonna
wait,
be
wait.
just-
People are gonna be so confused right now. They're like, first times. Why are you
Let's
talking
be
about dance
honest.
belts? We're talking about first mistakes.
First mistakes. So we're
First
talking about the
mistakes.
mistake that you
Oh,
make
sorry
by
about
wearing a
that. We got a little
spandex suit
sidetracked.
and not preparing your
Yes,
underbody for everyone else.
All right, let's
Exactly,
continue.
and that can also pertain to women when you get your pictures back for the first time and you're like, I'm not actually that big. Why do I look that big? You're gonna look bigger in your photographs. You're like every
Camera adds 10 pounds or whatever it is that
yeah,
saying is, right?
you're definitely gonna look puffier. You're gonna all of your flaws are going to be magnified. So then your first you realize if you are really confident and you look at those pictures and you're like, yeah, I love him. That's who I am.
Mhm.
Then
More power to you
I
at
want to
that
be
point,
you.
yeah,
I want to
absolutely.
meet you. Email me. I need to know who you are because most of us are like, holy shit, I
It's-
didn't know I was that big,
it's
and
like
then
that,
we wear shapewear underneath to try to protect our egos.
It's like that time that Kim Kardashian's photos came out untouched, right? So like we all see those flaws in ourselves, and we're very self-conscious
But
about them.
It's not all. It's not considered flaws though. Like
No, but a lot of
it's,
us.
it's
listen,
labeled as flaws. Like I love stretch marks and fucking cellulite.
Yeah, I know tiger strips.
That's
We
just.
know. But what I'm saying is
White tiger.
So like white tiger. So what I'm talking about is right. So like a mistake that I made when I first started cosplaying that I still struggle with to this day is comparing myself to others. Right.
Yeah.
So to Bab's point, when you look at photos, the first thing that I look at, and I'm sure you're the same way, and I know you're the same way,
Fuck
is
you.
when you look at the photo, man, I look terrible in this, and this. I would have done this differently. So ever since I started cosplaying, I struggle with that. You know, so that's something that was like a first time mistake for me, and I to this day I can't get over it. Like I get photos back, and everyone's like, man, these are amazing," and the entire time I'm like, well, I'm never gonna post these because the armor doesn't form my body perfectly, or you know, I got a zit over here or whatever.
I
I can
gotta
live with
say,
that.
to be real, photographers, if you're ever wondering why we haven't posted a picture of you,
Speak on it.
we might have forgotten, but sometimes we're just that harsh about ourselves that we see flaws that you might not see, which is so sweet that you
Can
don't
I
see
piggyback
it.
on that? Photographers, i.e., if you have a Spider-Man cosplayer and there's a wrinkle right here under their eye, and you continue to take the shot, and you wonder why we don't post it, Well, nobody wants to post a Spider-Man picture with a big ass lump under their eye.
Yeah.
So that's
I got a
that's
spandex
that's the first
collar,
lesson.
and
to,
it's flipped out,
Mhm.
and I have a white line across my
You guys really
neck.
need to fucking speak on that
All right,
shit.
so now we're just complaining. So let's go back to first times.
I feel like we're just stating.
So the first time I fell in love with cosplay,
Let's talk about it.
I compare my career with cosplay to a good relationship. And the first time that you fall in love and you really are in a wonderful relationship, it's because you're I am a woman, and and you want to hear what I have to say.
Was this Wasp or
No,
no?
it was not. It was Colossus, actually.
Really?
Colossus is when I
When you
first
met was Chris Claremont you met?
and Frank Miller.
Interesting.
I was not confident in myself. I was not I was not able to give myself a break and really love who I was until about September 2018. And that's when I fell in love with cosplay, when I realized, I can do this,
All right,
and
we gotta
I
talk
can
about
love
this after the
this. So that I would say that was the first time
Yeah.
for me.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No,
Ken?
go ahead. No. it's
No,
personal.
that was it. That was the first time I fell in love with
Okay,
cosplay.
yeah,
What
well,
about you?
No, well, we'll talk about that behind the scenes.
Okay.
But as for me, the first time I fell in love with cosplay or really got involved in cosplay was Easter 2014. Short story, but really quickly. I had a store-bought Halloween costume in 2013 for my friend's annual Halloween birthday party and costume party. I wore Spider-Man. I won the contest. And then Easter 2014, the week before, I had a blood clot in my heart. And the doctor was like, you had a heart attack or whatever. But I didn't want to go to the hospital. I actually fucking ran off while I was having a heart attack, supposedly. And, one of my friends caught me or whatever. And the EMT was like, you're having a heart attack or like a mild heart attack. You need to go to the hospital, whatever. Went to the hospital, got checked up, EKG, etc. The week after that was Easter. I came out the hospital and I put on my store-bought Halloween costume and I went to Times Square, took pictures, entertained kids, and I just fell in love with it. I made some decent money, I'll admit. And then about 2 weeks after that, I went again. 2 weeks after that, I went again. And then I said, you know what? I want to upgrade my costumes. So I started looking into more expensive Spider-Man costumes, and then I fucking found Brandon Gilbert or whatever. I found his stuff online, and then I read up on it, started following his stuff, and then I just kind of went from there. Short story longer.
So that's
I mean, longer
a bunch
story
of
shorter,
first times.
excuse me.
That's first time making some good money. That's first time upgrading. First time falling in love with it. A first in a health scare too. So and that's a
perspective.
thing that happens to a lot of cosplayers. Not hard events, I don't mean to say, but our health can be second to our passion. So when we realize that we need to do what we love before our time runs out, that's a wonderful first time to realize, okay, I got to do what I love. I got to follow my dreams.
100%. 100%. I would tell you that it's because of this bastard that I still cosplay, because I live on Long Island. He lives in Brooklyn, and
That's my
obviously
motherfucking brother.
New York Metro is where a lot of cosplayers live and reside, in Jersey, etc. Philly, Long Island is like dry. There's very few. So I don't like to go and do things alone. I get very, very self-conscious about it. I get very introverted about it myself, And then this guy just started telling me, come along, do this, come along, do that. And I just started doing more and more events. And as we built this community or became a bigger part of this community, the really big first event thing that I did with you guys was that he said, we're walking a bunch of kids to school in Brooklyn one day.
Yo, and I'm sorry, Don. I gotta tell this part, bro. So I called this motherfucker, and I'm like, yo, we're doing Dads Take Your Kids to School Day. Right? And, I assume Dom already took his son to school, Nicholas. Yo, what up, Nick? I hope so anyway. And he was late for the event, but he wasn't that late. So I told the people.
Parking, right? It was
I'm
10 minutes
like,
late.
well, I got another Spider-Man coming. So we stopped on a corner on Myrtle Avenue in Brooklyn. And all we see is this fucking Spider-Man flying up the block, just running. I'm like, there he goes right there. And guess who it is? Dom Charlin, everybody.
But what was cool was
Charlin.
I had the suit half
Running
on,
up the block.
and as I'm running up the block, people
Suiting
are
up in the middle of a run.
people are talking shit, and I'm suiting up in between intersections, And
Funniest
people are
shit
like
ever.
making fun of me or whatever. I don't care. I'm not listening. But then I got the hood up and the lenses on.
Mhm.
And then it went from being weirdo walking down the street to Spider-Man is running on the block. And I was like, holy
Suiting
shit,
up,
this is
mid-
the coolest
Mid cosplay,
thing.
he's suiting
And I had
up.
just finished as I turned the corner around them. And everyone cheers. And it was the coolest fucking feeling that I cannot thank you enough for. And then
I still got those pictures.
I can't get out of it now. Like once
Yeah.
you bring me in, I can't get
That's
out.
dope.
It's,
so
it's like a drug. So once you get caught, once you have that first time where you fall in love with cosplay, you don't stop after that. I mean, if you do, it's for
They're like
extenuating
Pringles.
circumstances like your health.
Nah, I keep going, baby. It's
but
gonna happen.
even
It's gonna happen.
Even then, okay.
if
so
he dies,
we-
he dies.
we
Keep shooting.
my
motto.
I did want to actually call myself out on something before we end. The first time I made a professional faux pas, a professional mistake. I'm gonna call myself out on this because I've had a lot of guilt and shame over this. When I first started, a bit before WASP, I did a DC Bombshells cosplay, katana, and I love it. I love my katana. And remember that I said before, I didn't really have self-confidence until about September 2018. That's when
In
it
your
kind of
cosplays, yeah.
yeah.
Whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. And so when I got my pictures back, I was working with this wonderful photographer that I still work with to this day. When I put it on Instagram, because I didn't know anything,
You didn't tag him.
no, I tagged, but I put a filter.
Oh.
I put a filter, and I didn't know. I did not know that was not allowed. I mean, everybody puts filters on everything. So
Well, it was a different era back then. You know, filters were the thing. That was the thing to do. You
That
know?
was the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know,
And
Balenciaga,
Prisma and all
shit
that
like
stuff,
and
yeah.
the photographer was really kind. He was like, "Hey, you're not supposed to put filters on things like that. That reflects on my work, and people are asking about, why my work has changed, and I don't know what to tell them." And I felt so bad. I didn't understand.
I think your mistake there is not that you put the filter on there, and I think this goes back to a previous conversation we had a couple weeks ago. It's in clear and candid conversation with the photographer or with the person you're working with.
Right. And actually, we had a wonderful, clear conversations, but there are little things in the cosplay community that you might not know. And one of those things I want you to learn, if you don't already know, don't put a filter.
Nope.
Don't Photoshop. Don't put a filter unless you talk to the photographer ahead of time and say, is it okay if I Photoshop? Is it okay if I put a
Yeah,
filter? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, please don't. If you need something fixed, I'll fix it for you.
Or you could say, hey, listen, could you balance the saturation on this because this color I really want it to pop?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I didn't know how to have that conversation. I didn't know that
I made that
needed to
same
be a
mistake, too.
conversation. So I made that mistake, and I want to sincerely apologize about that. I did apologize to the photographer, and we're good to this day. But
you're still a terrible person. You should feel bad. Is what you're saying.
Very
I
bad.
should quit
Very
now. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why this podcast is really important to me, is to educate people, because a lot of times you're not going to have a kind, gentle person who's telling you, hey, you shouldn't do that. So if we can be that kind, gentle person in a way that's saying, hey, don't do
Don't
those
do this,
things.
yep.
Yeah,
then-
man. Don't go in there raw dog.
Yeah.
Communicate. Hey, baby, you like this?
That's a different episode.
Does that feel
That is
good?
a much different episode.
that okay?
Now
Does
we're
that
back
work?
to first times. Let's talk about your first sexual experience. Oh, wait, we're out of time, you guys. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nate. Thank
I'm
you,
a virgin.
Dom. It's true. I've seen it. What?
Everyone has.
I feel like sandbags.
Everyone has.
Because he didn't use a dance belt. Thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next week of Butcher's Block.
Deuces.